Have you ever felt like your whole world was crumbling around you? Like everything you thought you knew about life, about God, about yourself was suddenly thrown into question? If so, you're in good company. Today, we're diving into one of the most raw and honest passages in the entire Bible, Job 2:11 through chapter 3. We've already seen Job lose everything, his wealth, his children, and even his health. But as we pick up the story, we're about to witness something both beautiful and heartbreaking. We're going to see how Job's friends respond to his suffering, and we're going to hear Job's gut-wrenching cry of anguish. Let's start with Job's friends. In Job 2:11 through 13, we read that Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar heard about Job's troubles. They set out on a journey to comfort him. And what they did next was probably the best thing that they could have done. Absolutely nothing. For 7 days and 7 nights, they just sat with Job in silence. Their example is an incredible lesson for us. I had recently met with a friend whose wife had passed away from Alzheimer's. He told me that in the early stages of her illness, he did everything to help her. But as the disease progressed, he realized that what she needed most was simply his presence. For the last 4 months of her life, he just sat with her. He said, "The Lord spoke to my heart and said, 'This is how you're to minister to your wife. Just be with her.'" Friends, when people are suffering, they don't always need our answers or our advice. Sometimes they just need our presence. Job's friends got this part right. It's a powerful truth for us. But then we come to chapter 3, and oh boy, does Job let loose. After 7 days of silence, Job finally speaks. And what comes out is a torrential outpouring of raw emotion. He curses the day he was born. He wishes he had died at birth. He questions why life is given to those in misery. Now, if this makes you uncomfortable, good. It should. Because what we're seeing here is the brutal honesty of a man in the depths of despair. And here's the thing, God included this in His Word. He wanted us to see this. Why? Because when grief runs deep, emotions often run wild. That's the truth about human personality, and God's Word is truth. Job doesn't hold back. He doesn't try to sound spiritual or put on a brave face. He pours out his heart to God in all of his messy, painful reality. And you know what? That's okay. In fact, it's more than okay. It's a crucial part of faith. You see, Job's lament teaches us several important things. First, it's okay to be honest with God about our pain. He can handle our questions, our anger, and even our despair. Next, faith and doubt can coexist. Job never curses God directly, but he does wrestle with some tough questions about God's nature and actions. Mental health matters. Job's wish for death reveals the depths of depression that can accompany severe suffering. We need to take this seriously and be compassionate toward those experiencing such pain. Our response to suffering can change over time. Remember how composed Job was in chapter 1? Now we see a different side of him. That's normal. Faith is a journey, not a static state. Bringing our pain to God is valid and an important part of faith. This kind of lament is common in the Bible, especially in the Psalms. Friends, what we're seeing here is the start of a long, difficult journey for Job. It's a journey that will challenge everything that he thought he knew about God in life. But it's also a journey that will ultimately lead to a deeper and richer faith. As we close, I want to encourage you. If you're going through a dark time, don't be afraid to be honest with God. Pour out your heart to Him. He can handle it. And if you know someone who is suffering, remember the power of presence. Sometimes the greatest gift we can give is simply being there and sharing in the silence. Remember, the God who included Job's lament in His Word is the same God who walks with you through your darkest valleys. He's big enough to handle your questions, your doubts, and your pain. And He's loving enough to sit with you in the ashes for as long as it takes until the dawn breaks again.